Hello, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm a First Nations artist from the Kwakiutl Nation. I want to acknowledge unceded territories that we work, play, and learn on. Coast Salish, Musqueam, Sabretooth. I'm from Coquitlam, so the Coquitlam Band. But I do encourage you to research the land that you live on because there's so much rich history there. Today we're going to be talking about traditional items right here at the Maritime Festival. Unfortunately, I don't get to meet you in person, but I get to be on your iPads or your phones or in your homes right now while you learn. I brought lots of traditional items with me. I'm going to start with one of my favorites. It was a very special gift to me from my mentor, Anastasia Hendry, and her sister made this. So it's from Haida Gwaii. It's beautifully done, like a hat like this tight weave. Even the style, it's very known to be a Haida Gwaii hat. If I wear it, I'm commonly mistaken as Haida. This hat's extra fancy because it does have 3 strips of copper in it. This is another hat that I got from another artist or weaver in Victoria. I always kind of wanted a top hat style or a watchman style hat. I wanted to paint it and make it very unique. I ended up putting leather on it because my husband wore it. This was a hat for me, but his head's a lot larger than mine, and he put it on and it stretched out, so now it's my husband's hat. This is a cedar basket and that's a rose I made. A cedar basket that I got from an elder in Kwakiutl. And she actually showed me how to weave in her style. It's very difficult. This was mine. And this is what she made. So she's definitely a master weaver. Put the rose back. This is a headband, so I could decorate and have abalone on it or paint it or leather. And I would just wear it on my head with my regalia. Regalia is a special word given to our clothing, our traditional clothing. So our button blankets, our cedar hats, things that are traditional to our culture. We do not say costume or outfit. It's our traditional regalia. This is a dancing apron. So a lot of my regalia does not have my family crest on it yet. My family crest is a double-headed eagle, and I have to make sure I go through the proper protocols and go through my elders to make sure that I am portraying our family crest in the correct manner, because it represents our family. It's essentially our last name. I can walk into a room with my regalia and with my family crest, and without saying a single word, they could tell who my family is, and it's passed down through our mothers. So my son would be from the double-headed eagle clan. So I'd wear this on my waist, and it has nice bells on there. It's quite quiet. You can't quite hear it, but imagine all the women in the room wearing one. That sound would build and carry. This is my button blanket that my mother started, and I'm working on it with her. So again, it does not have a design on it yet, but I will still show you what it looks like. It's quite large as well. So I would wear this on my back, like this, and I would walk into a room with my hands on my hips, portraying this picture that's going to be in the very center, and that would be my double-headed eagle crest. And it would be covered in buttons. So right now it's quite light, and I have options for buttons. Either I can use shell buttons or plastic, and it makes a world of difference. I'm going to show you what I mean here in a minute. And it's tradition. I was told by an elder, you have to fold it with the buttons in out of respect. And I will never question an elder. So, the options I have are plastic buttons. Has quite a sound. It's nice because they're lighter, they're more durable, they're not as expensive to buy. I can cover it in plastic buttons. Or, something a little bit extra fancy is shell buttons. They're heavier, they're beautiful because they're shiny and you have so many options like abalone or mussel, and it's just that after a while of wearing it, they do fracture. So when you wear your button blanket, those buttons cling together. So in a way, it's almost a musical item as well. This is my talking stick. It's actually a rattle as well, but I use this as my talking stick. It's shaped like a feather. I know it kind of looks like a knife, but it's not very sharp. It's my talking stick. And a talking stick is used, we traditionally use it with our young ones at the beginning because it teaches everyone respect. It gives everyone a voice. We stand in a circle, so that way it creates a safe space. So it wouldn't be fair of me to hold this all day long, so I would share it. Right now I can't share it because of COVID, but when we get through this, I will be doing my talking circles again, and we will be gathering again. These are my eagle feathers. They're quite old now, and they do need a little bit of love, and if I wanted to make them glue back together, I would hold them over a boiling pot of water and I would brush them ever so softly, and it should glue it back together. This is a raven feather. And depending on where you're from, maybe you don't know what a raven is. A raven is like a crow, but ginormous. And I've seen them up north. They're as big as eagles. They stand really quite tall. Their wingspan 6 feet wide. This is replica Hudson Bay beads. I have real ones. They're quite precious to me. I keep them at home. I only bring them out for traditional ceremonies and celebrations, because this entire strand is probably worth $300, but a single bead, a real one, can range from $20 to hundreds of dollars, depending on the size and the shape, because way back when, this was used as currency. I have some traditional smudging items, like sage, sweetgrass. Speaking of traditional items, this is something I've always wanted. I've always wanted a top hat because traditionally it's worn by fancy men. I want a top hat as a statement. I was gonna make it into an art piece, cover in art, have some feathers off of it. I finally found a top hat that fit me, and I found it in New West in an antique store. But then I did some research because a gentleman's name is on the inside. He actually lived in North Van, and this is from the 1800s, so it's made out of beaver skin. A First Nations person hunted this and traded it with Hudson Bay or a different company that turned these into hats. But since it's from the 1800s, I can't wear it because the chemicals they used back then make you very sick and can possibly make you die. So now it's just a display piece, as well as it's a piece of our history. And I meant to show you this. This is cedar. And this one really upset me because I found this in Kwakiutl on the river. Someone stripped a cedar tree and they did not know what they were doing because a lot of it looked like this, where it was really quite frayed. So I kept a piece of it so I can bring it to schools, to bring it to festivals, to teach people, because even me, I cannot go out to the forest and just gather cedar. I have to have permission from the local nation, as well as they have to know that they know that I know what I'm doing. Because if you take too much from the tree, you can kill the tree. This piece was probably 20 feet long and 4 feet wide. They killed the tree, and then they wasted the cedar. I have lots of little items here that my father-in-law gave me. When you hunt, you keep everything from the animal out of respect of that life. So I have mountain lion claws, so I can use this in my regalia, on my jewelry, or I can turn it into tools. I have a blonde bear claw. These are black bear claws. These are really precious to me. It's not an animal we hunt, but it's from an animal that was gathered from, that died from natural causes. These are eagle talons. And I haven't turned them into any of my jewelry or my regalia yet. I keep them stowed away to keep them safe. These are barn owl claws, very sharp. And if you tuned into one of my other videos, I did talk about this mystery item. And this mystery item is quite small. It's teeth from an animal. All of these pieces are teeth from an animal. I can use this in my regalia. I can put it in a rattle so that I can make the sound. And out of my 11 plus years of teaching, I've only had 32 people guess this right. I want you to ponder that. These are from a salmon. Salmon, when they go up the rivers to spawn, they change physically. They change their color, they grow big teeth, and these hooked teeth help them go up those rivers because they're able to hook onto the rocks and keep going all the way up to the top. That was from a sockeye salmon. When I was fishing, I didn't have my pliers, and I went to go get my hook back, and it bit me, so I brought it home. This was gifted to me from my father-in-law, and it's a black bear skull. I also have a black bear hide at home, but it's getting prepared to be tanned. What else do I have out here? I showed you those. Oh, this is a very traditional item. This one's made a little bit more modern. It's made out of deer skin, artificial sinew, and just a stick. Since I go into schools, I have to make it a little bit more safe. This is a bone stick game. Traditionally, it would be a stick and then an antler or a bone hanging down here, but when you play it, you have to flick it up. And the bone, when it hits you, it really hurts. So I wanted to make mine out of hide. So I encourage you to tune into my other video where I teach you how to make one of these at home. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know this isn't typically the same as what we would do, meeting in person, having a great time in the summer, but I encourage you to keep safe. Enjoy the other videos of all the other artists that are gathering and doing this, and thank you to the Maritime Festival. There's so many people behind the scenes right now making this happen, and we couldn't have done it without them. Thank you.